Good evening, welcome to the ITV News Update on Channel. First tonight, as darkness fell across the bailiwicks, islanders lit up the night with a message of hope to Paris. Vigils and services have been held to remember the 129 people who lost their lives in the city's terrorist attacks on Friday. From Guernsey's Castle Cornet, bathed in the tricolour's colours, to Jersey's Royal Square twinkling in the candlelight, hundreds of islanders stood in support for France. There is light in the darkness. The flickering candles gripped by islanders showing they are supporting Paris. Tonight, the bailiwicks took time out of their lives to remember the 129 who lost theirs in the most terrifying circumstances. In Guernsey, Castle Cornet joined the island landmarks that have turned the tricolours blue, white and red. In Jersey's Royal Square, a candlelight vigil was held to honour those who died.
You only have to log on to Facebook to see the numbers of faces on which the tricolour has been imposed, to see how many have been affected by what has happened.
The island's bailiff summing up the scope of empathy across the islands. The Chief Minister saying how many people feel.
The attacks were, of course, attacks on Parisians, on France, but more fundamentally they were also attacks upon the values that we share with them about democracy, about freedom, about tolerance. These were people going around about everyday activities that we do here in Jersey, and it's important that we stand strong together.
At St Heliers Town Church, united in song. One voice saying they are with France. As a local youngster sang in sweet innocence, thoughts of those who died doing everyday things, having dinner and going to a concert to have fun. The islands will not stand for those things to be taken away, they say, and so they stand side by side with Paris. And earlier today, Helena Carter spoke to islanders who were in Paris at the time of the attacks and those in the islands who have felt the impact of the tragedy.
Flags flying at half-mast across the Channel Islands today. And at 11 o'clock, a minute's silence. A minute that united Europe in mourning. Hundreds of miles away in Guernsey today, more heartache. Jan's children knew Nick Alexander, the only British person to be confirmed dead. He was selling merchandise in the Bataclan when he was murdered.
It just brings it home to you. This boy was the same age as our children. It could have been anyone. It could have been much closer to home. You just cannot imagine that's and Nick doing an innocent job like selling merchandise has now lost his life.
An innocent job and an innocent man. One of the many who died in a capital city under fire.
Historically, culturally, the island and France has been closely linked for such a long time in so many ways, and that's why now I think it's very natural and normal that Jersey is participating in this process of mourning for the victims in Paris. The exchanges between the islands, as you're saying, touristically, business-wise, are important, and it's very important for us that France is supported.
Support and shock. Guernsey's Chief Minister speaking on behalf of the island he leads.
For us then it's shocking because we're used to peaceful demonstrations, we're used to people expressing their views without the need for guns and bombs. And so it is that much more deeply shocking in our generation to see this sort of activity taking place.
A city on high alert tonight. A city perhaps changed forever. Helena Carter, ITV News.
Meanwhile, as a result of the Paris attacks, there's increased security at ports and airports in the Channel Islands. Guernsey and Jersey's police forces have confirmed extra security checks of passengers will be taking place. John Fernandez assesses the impact all this will have on islanders.
A heightened state of alert across the Channel Islands at our harbours and at our airports.
I think it's required at the current stage. You know, everyone has a right to travel in safety across borders, whether it's holidays or business trips. So I support that.
It's inevitable, isn't it? Really, if they don't take more precautions, they'll be blamed for it. So I guess we've just got to be patient and do what they say.
I think it's probably wise. You can't get enough security, can you? So the more the better. Just better for safety and for everyone. So.
The authorities say the increased security measures at all arrival points will remain in place for the coming days. The severity of the attacks in Paris and how close it is to the islands mean these increased checks are needed. And whilst it may be an inconvenience for those travelling to and from the islands, as we saw at the airport, here at the harbour, people are understanding of why they're needed.
Most of the public, the public we've spoken to, have been very supportive. And very understanding, and I do actually believe that a lot of the public expect these type of checks to be conducted as a matter of course in this day and age.
While more checks are being carried out at the borders, the threat level itself remains unchanged in the islands. But officials say that doesn't mean they're being complacent.
Well, we remain vigilant at all times. The safety of passengers and our own staff is of the utmost importance to us. So it is travel check-in as usual, as planned, unless you're advised otherwise, and just be vigilant at all times.
So as islanders arrive and leave the islands, powerful reminders of the atrocities carried out on Friday and just how close to home they were. John Fernandez, ITV News.
To other news now, and a 27-year-old man has died after taking a mysterious white powdered drug that was used at a party in Jersey over the weekend. Police say several people were ill after the event, including 2 women who were taken to hospital following the incident. The 23 and 24-year-olds have since been discharged. Former Jersey politician Bob Hill is critically ill in hospital in Southampton, being treated for a brain hemorrhage. The family issued a statement over the weekend. Bob's wife, Anne Hill, said he is as strong-willed and determined as anybody she has ever known, and that he will be drawing on every bit of this will and determination to pull through. Children in Jersey are being taught the dangers of the internet. An expert from children's charity Bernardo's has been in schools talking to pupils about the things they post online that don't go away. Internet experts say it's vital that children understand how the internet works and how to use it safely. And the 2 Jerseymen who found one of the largest Celtic coin hoards in history in a Grooville field have written a book about their experience. Richard Miles and Reg Mead are releasing the story of their archaeological adventures this month. Brian Constantine has taken a look back on that moment that changed their lives.
For thousands of years, the treasure lay hidden. It was back in the 1980s when metal detectorists Richard Miles and Reg Mead first suspected there was something significant about this field in Grooville. But it then took almost 30 years working around crop cycles to uncover what would become the largest Celtic coin hoard ever discovered.
It's Roman, just like the rest of the stuff we found from the site. So they're from the Celts.
It made national headlines. Experts were called on to excavate the collection and carefully take it apart, piece by piece. As the meticulous work took place, it slowly became clear how many coins made up the cluster. An estimated 70,000, thought to be from the late Iron Age and Roman era. Given the public interest, the hoard was put on display at Jersey's museum. It has since been given a dedicated area at Hugby. The live excavation is on show for locals and tourists alike to observe. Every day, around 300 coins are removed, cleaned and logged. Other items, including gold and silver jewellery, are also being discovered. The excavation will continue for another 2 years. Plenty of time for more treasures to surface. Brian Constantine, ITV News.
Now, it was another really blustery day out there today, wasn't it? So is that going to last? Sophie has the answers for you.
Dine in style. Transform a house into a home. Regency Bedding, sponsors of ITV Channel Islands Weather.
Good evening. Well, so far this month it's been pretty mild and dry, but since last week we've had some storms moving through, and in fact there's a further storm to move in tomorrow night, and between now and then not only will it be windy, but we're also going to have some periods of fairly heavy rain. We've already seen a band of rain move through tonight. It will become fair very shortly, with temperatures slipping away to 13 degrees. The winds are going to increase for a time overnight but ease into tomorrow morning. Then a band of rain will move through, could become a little bit persistent, but the winds are really going to pick up into the evening. We're talking gale force 8, maybe even severe gale force 9 mid-channel with gusts to 60 miles per hour. That is Storm Barney, but as he clears, we're actually going to see a respite for Wednesday, with further showers moving down from the north, indicating temperatures could slip for the weekend.
Regency Bedding, sponsors of ITV Channel Islands weather.
Well, I think the answer to that was yes, it's going to be blustery tomorrow. Don't get blown away from me and from the late team. Good night.